And we are on. Hello.
Hello. Very excited to be here with you and all the mothers.
I'm very excited too, and I'm super grateful that you chose to share your story with the rest of the world, basically.
Yes.
So we're gonna go directly to the questions that I'm about to ask you that I think that mom will find value in it. And then I will also like to just allow you to talk about your experience and say whatever things that come up for you and whatever you feel like it's important to be mentioned and I haven't asked. Okay?
Sure. Okay.
So, first and foremost, how did you find me?
It was on Facebook, on your support group. I was talking to one of my friends, and she had a boy, I think 3 months older than mine, and she was fine with breastfeeding him until he was really old. But for me, this process had to happen. And I was telling her, I'm very confused because there's no process out there. There's no books. Because I read about 3 books. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and none of the methods that I found really helped me. They were mostly giving me this anxiety, like this is not going to work out. Like I would feel so anxious about, the methods they would explain in those books, that I was like, there's no way I could apply this to my son and I would be comfortable with them. So she recommended your group, and I started reading comments and experiences that other mothers would write there. And then I said, I have to really work with Gabriella one-on-one, because I felt like I needed more support. And definitely I was intrigued by this method, by this process that was described in your group. And that's how I got in touch with you.
Okay, super. Thank you. So the next question, what made you say, yes, I want to work with you? What exactly from the things I was talking about in the group, in the support group, and from the things that you found out about me, made you say that, okay, I need this? What was the point you were in? How much time you had like left for the breastfeeding? And what combination of these things made you decide that you will work with me, having into consideration that you felt intrigued by my way of seeing things and by my perspectives on things?
Somehow I perceived this method being easy. It was gentle weaning, which obviously was what I was looking for, but it really intrigued me, and it really made me choose you because although I had time, I was done. I mean, I was not pressured. I had another whatever, but I just wanted to get this done and done. I was not happy anymore. My son was almost 2.5, so I felt like I've done my part. And then when I realized that you were talking about this process as being the mother's process and not the child's process, and everything that it implies, it has to do with the mother's fears and her emotions and whatnot. I said, you know what, this really made me feel like it was for me. Because all the other methods, they tell you how you have to take out one feeding at a time. Some would say start with nighttime, daytime, and to me it was just like this thing, like I cannot do this is too complicated for me. Like I would be anxious, and we all know that whatever we feel goes to our baby. So I said, how can I do something that I'm not comfortable with and expect my son to be happy about this? So definitely the fact that all the mothers that went through this process were saying, oh my God, like I'm okay, my child is happy, no crying, no nothing. And I said, okay, this is for me. This is definitely for me. And the whole process, although I had no time frame, and you told me, the first thing that I remember you told me was your process, your time. So it's not like this could happen in a week, it could happen in 3 months, whatever you choose. It really depends on every individual.
Super. After getting into the group, Weaning Breastfeeding with Gabriela Ongurelu, and seeing the homework, and after having the session with me, what did you feel about it? What were your thoughts about it?
You know what? It started making a lot of sense, because I never really thought before working with you that this had a lot to do with me. It was really, my focus was not on that. And I realized once I started doing my homework, and you told me you have to make a list of all the fears you have about the, like the gentle weaning, and what does this mean to you and your relationship to your son. I realized that all the fears had to do with me, about the love that we share, about the him getting sick, about him not sleeping. And somehow they would all be projected on me, like, what do I do if he gets sick? What do I do if he doesn't sleep? What do I do if he's not going to be just as attached? So everything had to do with me, and very little had to do with him. And this is something that I didn't discover anywhere else. Nowhere else did I read that, it's all about the mother, and they put the focus on the child, and how it's okay for him to cry, and you need all this help, and have the child sleep with the dad, and have the nanny or have the grandma. And I don't have that support. I mean, I do have my husband, but he works a lot. My son has never slept with anyone except for me, ever since he was born. I sleep with him in the same room. So I was like, I cannot afford to do this. I don't have a nanny, there's no grandma. So how do you apply those methods if there's no support? And working with you, I realized that you have to work with, you and your feelings, and that's it. And right in the end, so maybe 10% of this whole process had to do with the baby. But it was just so gentle and so genuine that I can't believe that, everyone should know about this. Everyone. I mean, I'm so relieved, and I'm so happy, and I'm so free now when I think back, that is like, how come that this is not, out there? Like, you need to be out there. You're an
Well,
angel for all the mothers.
this is the point that we're making with this video that we're making right now. And yes, I keep saying that the process is like 95% about the mother. And actually, this process came out from the same experience that you had. Like, I read everything. I was a lactation consultant, and I could not make ends meet in terms of winning gentle, fast, personalized weaning breastfeeding. So this is how the process even started out, because I was also a very curious mother, and I wanted to know all the perspectives. And again, just like you said, I was also the case of not having anyone around. And that just made me find out that nursing is between the mother and the child, and ending that process should be between the mother and the child. Nobody helps you in, attaching your child, while every time you wake up, every night, for 1 to 2 years to 3 years, maybe sometimes. So I'm so happy that I hear this from you now. I know we talked, and of course you told me your impressions about the process, but hearing you talking like this after a time has passed, and now you have the whole picture very clear around the subject, is like I always said, privilege and an honor to be part of this change that's going on. So what else can I ask you? Because you can't.
Something that came to mind is that it's very hard for a mother, because you said that now it's very clear to me, but beginning this process, it wasn't clear to me. So if any mother feels a little bit like, strange, because it is different, but it's in a good way. It's normal. Whatever information feels new or undiscovered until now, I think it's just perfect. But take it as something that will really give you that freedom and that feeling of having a happy baby and a happy mother. Because when like I said, even after you gave me the homeworks and everything, I was like, is this really going to work? Like, I know a lot of mothers are saying that, the testimonials are saying that, yes, it happens. But I had moments when I said, I don't know if it's going to happen to me. I don't know if I'm that mother. I don't know, but slowly. So give yourself time, be patient with yourself. And even when you feel like it's not going to work, just don't give up. And I think it's normal. So now, working with you on different level, I'm working with you and the grown-up program, I learned that we have to embrace whatever emotion comes to us. So even when you feel a little bit like strange, or not being supported, let's say, by how the baby reacts or whatnot, just move on, move forward. It's going to happen. And I also wanted to mention something about the support out there. People don't give you support as much as needed when it comes to the gentle weaning, but they give you so many, so many pieces of advice on what to do. Why don't you put some ketchup on? Why don't you put a Band-Aid on? Why don't you just, stop breastfeeding? And it's like, no, I didn't want to do this to my son. I just didn't want, because I didn't want to fool him. This was such a beautiful experience for both of us. Why would I end it in such a terrible way, So I got so much information from other people out there, and pressure, the family could put pressure on you. Oh, he's too big already. You're going to go back to
Yeah.
work. He has to go to kindergarten. What are you going to do? You're going to go breastfeed him. And this puts a lot of pressure on the mother. And that's why you helped me a lot, because you really taught me how to put a stop on all these, and you explained to me, this is about you and him, not about what, that person tells you or what pressure, is being put onto you. This came to me when you were talking, so I wanted to put it out there in case another
Well,
feels like me.
definitely. And on the same line, to I want to ask you, because I say that this process is 100% fail proof. You can only fail during this process if you don't do your homework and if you don't keep up the communication with me. Is that true?
It's true. It's true. And every time I had a moment where I believed that something was not working for me, or I had moments when my son was even more attached than before, and I was like, well, this is not how this is supposed to go. Like, I thought my son is slowly gonna understand, and I guess it was all my emotions that I was letting them out there, and he would respond exactly onto my emotions. And I would call you, or I would message you, and you would tell me it's okay, you need to really tap on whatever's going on, whatever you're feeling now. So yes, it's definitely true. But again, 100%, I could not have done it without your one-on-one support. Just because I haven't experienced this before, there were moments when I felt like I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what to do next. And you would come in and you would say, well, this is what you need to do next. And I would, follow your steps, and I would feel much better. And I got to
Mhm.
the day when I told my son the sentences, and he had no reaction whatsoever, and that was it. And I was like, okay, this is happening. This happened. This is working.
Okay, super amazing. Thank you so much. One last question. How do you feel now about the choice that you made back then, like not knowing exactly how this is gonna go, being intrigued by the things that you heard me say, and not hearing about the things that I'm talking about everywhere, everywhere else. So,
You know, I feel so grateful. This, along with being in your grown-up programs, I think are the biggest, I don't know, not challenges, but in a positive way. Like the best thing I've done in the past years, honestly, because it really helped me discover myself. So even before, just with going into your program, the gentle weaning, I realized that I've released so much that almost had nothing to do with, you know, breastfeeding, but you know, your mind, your emotions are, mind is a wonderful thing that could help you do so many things, but could also, you know, can make you put a stop on so many other things. So you taught me this, and I'm so grateful that I got to work with you. So grateful, because it really helped me achieve what I wanted, was a gentle weaning where I feel complete. Like I don't feel guilty, I don't feel sorrow, I don't feel anything negative. And whatever fears I had regarding my son, is he going to love me the same? Are we going to be just as attached? Is he going to sleep? Is he going to eat? Whatever goes into your mind, it's all perfect. I mean, you know, we have a different love story now. He's even more attached, honestly, like that attachment, that physical attachment where he just, you know, like sits there and he plays and he eats, and it's just different. Now it's now he tells me even more, Mama, I love you, which to me it's like, oh my God. You know, so all of these just came into place perfectly. And I thank you very much. I really thank you very much. And I encourage all the mothers that come across your program, your page, your group, to really work with you, because you reveal so much of them, not only about, you know, like the baby and the breastfeeding and all of that, but you reveal so much of their inside, their emotions. And this is so important, you know, being a mother, especially first time mother or whatnot, it's not easy. And when you have someone that helps you clean some of the, you know, deepest emotions,
built
it's
up.
just like, yeah, it's so welcomed. Yes, it's a blessing.
So, um, except for the weaning breastfeeding, you mentioned you released a lot and that you revealed yourself in many ways. Can you specifically uh, tell the ladies some few points of your life, so few aspects of your life that changed, or the perspective has been changed because you went through this process and processed all those emotions that you mentioned were not having anything to do with the weaning breastfeeding, but you need to take care of the current situation you are in because you cannot do ballet on war zone. So
Right,
when it
right.
comes to weaning breastfeeding, you kind of have to touch everything that's going on in your reality. So
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about this?
Yes. First and foremost, I think I refocused myself on me. Everything became, you know, my son was everything to me, and this is good, but not as good as expected, I would say, when it comes to taking care of, you know, a new life and myself. I mean, I realized I have to be happy in a way, so that my son could take all this happiness from me, and I really became wiser. So once you taught me how to release all this emotions, which most of the time are negative emotions that kind of like stay in whatever in between us and what we desire, I became wiser. I became calmer. Now my son is close to 3 years old, and we went through the, you know, 2 years old where he discovers more, and you know, there comes the tantrums, and there comes whatever his personality is coming out. And there were moments when I had to step back and just say, okay, what would Gabriela say now? You know, what advice would she give me? Yeah, I did this many times, and I was very happy with myself, because maybe before I would have gone through uh you know, crazy amount of other emotions, and I would not have been so happy about, you know, my decisions. So I think you just learn to work with yourself and with your emotions, to focus on yourself as a mother, as a woman, that has this great job to really bring on a new life.
For you and for your loved ones.
Yes, yes, yes. Just
Okay.
I became wiser. I think, I became wiser. I became more focused on what's really there for me. Not focused on the negative, not focus on what's not pretty. You always said focus on the good. Focus, even if you feel like, your day was not as expected, but just see the good in it. So I think this was my whole focus on life changed after I worked with you. And now when I look back, I feel that the gentle weaning was just, like this a little bit. Now it's huge. But because I keep working with myself every day since I started working with you. So every day I do things that help me still elaborate a lot of things that are there inside deep.
Life happens.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe that my relationship with my son is different now, with my husband is different now, because of what I'm doing and what I did with you.
Okay, super amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
One last thought for the moms that see this video.
Sure. Just be gentle to be gentle with themselves, and to believe in themselves, and really believe in you and your help. Like I said, I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank God enough that I came across your program and your page and your support group. And just believe. It's be gentle, take your time, do your homework, and it's going to happen. One day you're gonna feel that it's done, but in the most beautiful way, in the most beautiful and gentle, way. So believe, and it will happen.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Cami, for
Yeah,
your time
my
and
pleasure.
for your wonderful words. And again, congrats for everything that you've done for you and your family so far. And we will see what's gonna come up next. I love when my clients write to me after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, telling me, that thing that you told me, I just did that now, and this happened and this happened. So I cannot wait to see you grow even more
Yeah,
into who you are and into who you want to be.
yeah. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much.
I thank you, and wishing all of the mothers, all the best, and all the best out there.